Welcome to the Onyeka Nwelue show. In the studio, we have Kolawole Olajide, a serial entrepreneur, founder of Funda, which is going to explain to us what it means. He was featured on Forbes 30 Under 30 Technology in 2018. Welcome, Kolawole.
Thanks for having me, Onyeka.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Great day to be out and sitting with you and talking life. So,
yeah, I'm also going to remind my viewers that I've known you for over 10 years. And it's interesting that you grow rapidly. Every other time I see you, you're doing something, you're always busy. So could you tell people who don't know about Funda what it means?
So Funda was my first company. Right out of school, I figured out that technology wasn't being used in the classroom in an effective way. And I felt to improve the quality of learning, we had to bring technology to the classroom. I felt like I couldn't take the school home. Right, so started tinkering around with different tools to build technology that allows students become more connected with the teachers, even outside school hours, and that was the birth of Funda. Right, so that was my first company. We built technology for University of Pretoria. That was our first big client at the point, and I think I learned a lot at that phase of my life. Right, as fresh out of school, as a first company. I learned a lot around doing things the right way, and a lot of mistakes were made. Right. I also believe in young entrepreneurship. It's the best form of learning for me has been my journey, not any external advice, to be very honest. Right. So, and that was Funda. Then moved on to.
How old were you when Funda came?
I started Funda at like 17, 18.
You were still in Nigeria then?
I was in South Africa. I was in South Africa studying actually at the point. And was already building technology.
You were in university in South Africa at 17?
Yes, I was. Right, so yeah, I was.
What university?
Sorry, wait, 2018, sorry, that's 1991, sorry, 2009, sorry, 18, January 18, yeah, 18.
So you never had any experience before you started this?
I never had any experience. I was just super passionate about solving the problem.
How was the failure?
We failed forward, I'll put it that way. So at the point I was like, because I would say we got into the right environments, we got into the right rooms, we got into University of Pretoria. Imagine as you young starting a tech company
how many
at that age. So we were 4.
You were the only Nigerian?
I was the only Nigerian.
Were there doubts about you because of your nationality?
There was no doubt.
Okay.
And I would tell you, over the last 10 years in tech, we've worked with banks, we've worked with different companies, across the world. And I don't see that against Nigeria. I don't see any negativity against Nigerians.
No challenges as a Nigerian for you?
In tech, no, because the quality of work speaks for itself. Right, so people are worried that people want to get, because if we look at it, 80% of software projects fail globally, actually, or more. And when people see something that's quality, nationality is then deprioritized. They just want great work.
Okay, you have not had any financial obstacles because somebody doesn't want to transact money with you because of you being a Nigerian?
I haven't, to be honest.
Okay.
I haven't. I wouldn't say I haven't experienced some negativity due to my nationality, but it hasn't been in the work context.
Mm-hmm.
I do guest lectures at universities, we sponsor students at schools, and at no point are people not taking an opportunity due to my nationality.
Do you see your age as a setback for you? I mean, you lecture at universities.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
29.
Yeah. So you don't feel people you're going to teach will say, "Oh, this guy is young. What does he know?" Because there is ageism in Africa.
Valid. So maybe actually the only place I experienced ageism was Nigeria. right? And also before I guest lecture, I mean, they read my profile out. Like, I mean, my company digitized a R1 billion company. We handled their digital transformation. At that point, if you're a student, you want to hear how we did it, right? You want to hear how we did it, how we structured such deals. Not necessarily, oh, why is this young boy in front of me, right? So I think South Africa is, to be honest, South Africa is driven by intellectual muscle. There's a lot you can do here based on, based on the quality of you bring to the table, right? And that's the difference, to be honest, with what I've seen in Nigeria.
So what projects are you doing with the University of Johannesburg?
One thing I noticed when I started my third company, which was like 5 years ago,
it's called
Bridge Labs, right? So by the time I was starting that company, I'd worked a lot in corporate through relationships, and there was no great environment to nurture black engineering talent. And that was why I started Bridge Labs, right? And
when you say black engineers, what do you mean?
Black engineering talent, like if you look at black engineering talent in Africa, now things are changing. They start off writing software and they move on to the business side.
I'd also
of
like
things.
to understand why you have to use the term black.
Because we have been disadvantaged for too long in the engineering world.
No, I know, but the term black, why do we have to call ourselves black people?
So I'm pro-black based on the history I've seen in my career.
But the term
so
black,
if there's another narrative you want to push based on black, we can unpack it. I'd like to hear your view. But personally, I'm pro-black when it comes to engineering talent.
Yeah, I know, I understand that part. But I'm trying to say this: the color of your skin isn't even black.
Fair, but for me, it's the most relatable term to use in that context when I'm talking about talent.
Right.
I'm actually willing to learn. What other option?
Why not say African engineering?
I don't think that's. Personally, I just don't think that's.
It's less derogatory than black. Black is derogatory.
We could unpack that though.
Yeah, but black is derogatory. The term black is same as negritude. It's a Latin word for black. It was banned. Nigger was banned. But it's the same word, black, nigger. So why do we still keep using words that are banned? And then you hear things like black is beautiful, I'm a proud black man, but if you check it anywhere, we don't even have a proof that we're black people.
I guess you'd have your views.
Anyway, back to Bridge Labs. I would love to know what it's about.
So Bridge Labs has evolved over the last 5 years. Right. When we started, the goal of the company was to bridge the technology gap for what we consider to be the digital invisible economy. Mm-hmm. Right? How do we work with established organizations to make sure their products are more accessible to lower LSMs? Right? And we've been, we try that, and working with some large organizations like Easy, working with banks to review their credit scoring algorithms so that they become more inclusive, or working with different large organizations to just handling their digital transformation. Right. So that was how Bridge Lab started. Right. And what was different about us was we only did projects we believed in. Right. It was multi-year partnerships.
Sorry to cut you in, but when you speak, you always say we. Who are these people?
So I always start my companies with a co-founder. I know my strengths.
Okay.
And based on the learnings over the last couple of years, I love to play according to my strengths. So I'm great at building solid engineering teams to build great products, right? And outside that, I'm not too excited about the other parts of growing a business. That's just my truth.
So where are these people now?
So I started Bridge Labs with Musa. Musa, I think, was Facebook's first employee in Africa.
Okay.
And we started Bridge Labs together. Musa had already built a reputation in marketing. I had already built a reputation in technology. And we started Bridge Labs together to say, okay, how do we create an environment that solves Africa's big tech problems and also nurtures great engineering talent.
So how many employees do you have?
Now we're sitting on 30.
30?
30, yeah.
So they converge in an office or work remotely?
Sorry?
They converge in an office or work remotely? They work from...
We actually have a nice office in Hyde Park where they all work from, but due to the pandemic, we've had to switch to a remote culture, right? And I have a lot of friends doing entrepreneurship the other way, which is, they don't give full-time jobs. They only bring in people on contract because they don't know what they don't know about tomorrow. But I just can't do entrepreneurship that way. I think to build, there's a kind of environment you need to build to nurture the best talent. They can't be on contract.
Are you going to expand to your home country, Nigeria?
I mean, there have been talks, and hopefully sometime in the future. But we are actually opening a Kenya office next year, so I think that'll be our next office in Africa. So it's Cape Town, Kenya, Johannesburg. But for now, I don't know anything about. I'm not sure of Nigeria, but there have been talks.
When was the last time you went to Nigeria?
I think like 2 years ago.
You don't miss the country?
I miss the place. I miss some things about the place. I miss, of course, I miss family. I miss some family that there. I miss friends. But the truth for me is, there are some things I don't miss about the place. That's the truth. And that's another conversation. But there are clearly things I don't miss about the place.
And we're going to go on break now. When we come back, we'll talk more about Bridge Labs. Welcome back to the Onyeka Nwelue show. In the studio, we still have Kolawole Olajide, Nigerian entrepreneur who lives in South Africa. And we were discussing one of his projects, his third project called Bridge Labs. And I wanted to know how you were able to fund Bridge Labs.
That's an interesting question. So, over my years in entrepreneurship, I'd learned some hard lessons, and one of them was sometimes raising money is a problem.
Exactly.
Right? Because money is not your problem, right? It's just crafting the right solution, and if you can grow organically, you can actually build something really profitable and sustainable, right? So, and my decision when starting Bridge Labs was, when I looked at the business model, what we're trying to solve, I'm like, if what we're trying to solve is gonna be successful, we would have clients that are willing to back us upfront, as opposed to going to raise capital from other venture capital firms. So, actually, Bridge Labs got off the ground by their first paying client.
And is this something you want to talk publicly? Who is this client and what was the project?
Okay, so this client was a student in a lecture I was teaching at Gibbs, all right? And they own South Africa's largest privately owned car dealership. They do R1 billion a year. And after my lecture, it was like, Kola, the digital transformation of my organization has failed for the second time, right? You sound knowledgeable. Can you start advising us about this? And I was like, okay. And from the advisory, it just went on to, actually, we can build this, right? It failed not because of the technical muscle of the teams that have worked on it. It's failed due to they didn't have certain technical relationships. To do certain projects, you need partners that control data and are willing to see you succeed. And those were relationships I had. So I was like, okay, let's do this project again, and this is why it will be different this time. These are the partners. We'll partner with the credit union agencies. We'll partner with the top 4 banks, and let's see how, let's get this off the ground. And it was successful.
So do you charge your clients first before you start work or after work?
So we do multi-year partnerships revenue share. So what that means is, if when we go on a project, we need to be very careful because we're taking it like an entrepreneurial journey. That means if the client is struggling, we're also struggling. And if the client is very successful, we are very successful. So we structure our deal in such a way that we take a stake of the profits in perpetuity as long as you use our technology. So the client is not too worried about the upfront cost. They're like, okay, cool, no worries. Okay, Bridge Labs would not really charge us upfront. But when things start, once we transform the organization digitally and we qualify for those revenue split, man, it's a gold mine if it works out. But if it doesn't work out, you've sunk in resources, time, even money, and then you lose that. And that's why we don't have a lot of clients at Bridge Labs. We have selected clients, multi-year partnerships. Basically, everyone, selected clients, multi-year partnerships, and we need to win it.
So you have stuff you're doing with University of Johannesburg. Could you tell me about that?
Yes. So one of the a big thing for me is nurturing engineering talent, right? So with UJ, when there was a time a company of mine was about to be acquired in South Africa, and they brought in this top professor at UJ to come and do the due diligence on the acquisition. And while we sat in the room, because I was invited to meet with this top professor, they figured out, man, we're Nigerians from Ekiti State. Right, so we built a bond, and after
what is his name?
His name is Abejide Ibijola. So through that bond, it was like, Kola, man, you guys are doing great things in corporate, we're doing great things in academia. We need to bridge this gap. Curriculum needs to evolve.
Great.
Because when people graduate, they're not getting jobs. So can you plug that gap for us? Can you tell us what's happening in academia so we can influence curriculum to be better talent? And that's how the relationship started. So I started working with them on curriculum. Then post that, I started doing guest lectures, right? And then I was like, from that, I started to see some really intelligent students who had different issues, whether it be they were not sure of funding for the next year or, so did a program with the school where we sponsor hackathons, we donate, buy laptops, identify talent early and, get them to join our company full time, right? So UJ is making a big announcement sometime this week, and saying, hey, Bridge Labs has accepted, I think six engineers from their university to join them, and it's a big thing.
Is there an age limit to that?
Sorry?
Is there an age limitation to that?
There is no age limitation, but most of the people we are bringing on board are have actually done internship at our company already, right? They already know our ways of operating. We've been working with them since they were in their first year, second year, and now it's just like, okay, come on board because we believe you're fast, you fit our culture, you can come in here and be productive and do great work and also achieve your life goals. So to your point, there's no age limit to that. It's just good academic track record, and of course a previous relationship with our organization.
So how since you got onto Forbes 30 under 30, what is your relationship with people? Like, are there people who want to force themselves into your life because they think you are successful and they want to be a part of your success?
That's natural, right?
How do you handle that?
So I'm very, very respectful about it. I'm also very, very strong about my position.
Okay.
Right. So I clearly am a private individual. Keep my inner circle close, where people know a lot about me. And also I believe there's a higher power. That's what I believe, and I've seen this equation in my life where the more I give back, the more successful I become. Right? I don't need any pastor or anybody to tell me that. I think I've seen that equation like multiple times in my life, right? So, but I think for me it's like just being clear, because I think one thing I've learned about power, to be honest, is so one thing needs to control the other. It's either it controls you or you control it. Right, from my experience, right? So it's either, I've seen people who these days they've taken such prizes and such validations as their identity, right? And if you refer to them or trying to engage with them without that crown they placed on themselves, some of them find it disrespectful. I don't go around with such accolades. I let my work, basically let my work, speak for itself, and keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah, to your point, that would always happen.
And that even brings me to the Azinship Prize, right? How much was this?
So Azinship Prize was it was a $25,000 prize for young entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And I would also give it to Anzisha. Anzisha, a lot of my sources, they would credit to Anzisha. It's an organization that allowed young entrepreneurs to fail very fast without the pressure, actually, right? So yes, they believed we were some of the best entrepreneurs in Africa. They funded our companies, but there was no pressure of, okay, because we funded your company, that company must succeed. No, it's more about you as the entrepreneur. They are betting on you, right? And if that company fails, then fine, move on from it and go do what you want to do.
So each winner was given how much?
No, so there's a price range. So there's a $25,000, there's $15,000, there is 10, and there's $2,500. But now the price then brackets has changed over the.
But you got 25,000.
No. I actually got less. I think I got $2,500 back then. But the power of Azinship is not what you win; it's how you leverage the network.
Perfect.
I've done easily in the last 2 years over $500,000 worth of business through the network. I gained that transition. It's not the price money. It's one of the strongest networks for African entrepreneurs if you know how to tap into networks and do business.
So you are one of the richest young Nigerians, and not young Nigerians or young Africans under 40 in Africa.
I wouldn't say that, Onyeka.
Yeah, because you want to be modest.
No, but I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I think.
Okay. Like I always say, before we started, before we went on air, you talked about getting a copy of Barack Obama's new book, and I would like to know if you have plans of writing your own autobiography or maybe a biography on you to encourage young entrepreneurs who want to follow through the process you have.
Yes, I actually have it in mind. I wouldn't say I've made any actionable plans, but I have it in mind because when I've noticed, when I looked at the notes I used to guest lecture, there are a lot of insights that I felt, wow, if everything comes together and I connect it to how I learned those lessons and put together a story, people can be able to relate with that, to connect with that. Also, I believe my success stories, I think it's different, to be honest. Like, it's very organic. I didn't go to any Ivy League school and raise money and come back and do all these things. It was organic. This is the African child's dream, right? We stayed here, we studied here, we worked hard, built a great company, and I want to just show that I want people to know that it's possible, actually. And trust me, I would never leave the continent.
Interesting. Anyway, thank you. Thank you so much.
Salute. Thanks so much.
You see, I didn't go personal. We come to the end of the Onyeka Nwelue show. Keep reading.